Hey everyone, Vintage Fan Collector here, and today we have a 1988 Casablanca Delta II. Not really recently, about 3-4 months ago, I think it was during the summer, I'm not entirely sure, I found two identical 1988 Delta IIs at the Lake Highlands Habitat. Since these would have been my first 88 Delta IIs, I went and grabbed them, plus could always use more of these light oak blades and just more Delta IIs because I like these. So this is the first one of the two. I fitted it with a K4S. It already had the shades with some generic light kit. These shades appear to be what Casablanca had, along with one other style of bevel glass, so I just figured that this would look nice. So this originally had a really long down rod, so it was an absolute pain in the butt to get this short one on there, along with fitting the wires and shoving all the wires into the hang tree, but I did it, so there it is. It has it's still flexible, yet very white. I think that's just the rubber they used that year, flywheel. And I believe it has a Samsung motor, but it might have a K55. I haven't opened it up to look. Sorry about that really loud buzzing. That's my antique fluorescent light over there. It is rather loud. Probably could get away with turning these off. Maybe. Let's see how that looks. I don't know. You'll just have to deal with it. Oh well. Anyway. So here's the 4-blade configuration. Go ahead and start off by turning on the light. So it's very nice. Definitely would like to install this somewhere. It is super nice, the bearings are good, and everything about it is just wonderful. There's some scratches here and there, but you know, it's nothing that can't be polished. Okay. Go ahead and start it off on low, forward. Most of my 1988 fans are either Panois or Victorians, so it was nice to have a different model. And I'm still looking for a Saturn and a Victorian and a Lady Delta. Not a Victorian, sorry. A Saturn, a Cambridge, a Zephyr, a Lady Delta, and a few other 88 fans that I don't already have. Essentially, my goal for my Casablanca side of the collection is to hopefully have at least one fan from every year. Hopefully. Now that's probably doable, but you know, I don't want to have like a billion fans either. So it was nice to pick up another model from 88. The other one is lightless, and I will put that one up as well, and it is going to Alan on Friday. I'm going to sell it to him. So I'm keeping this one and selling the other one. I originally wanted to keep both, but whatever. It's alright. Okay. Medium. It has a faster medium than a lot of my Delta IIs, which is interesting. I've noticed that with 3-speed Casablancas, there's no exact consistent speed for medium, cat value wise. They usually have different ones, I guess, depending on the year and motor and things like that. So I just find that kind of interesting, that of all the ones I have, there's certain ones that are slower and ones that are quicker than others. This one is definitely on the faster side of a lot of the Delta IIs that I have. Now the funny thing is, most of what I find at the Lake Highlands Restore is polished brass Delta IIs. But I'm at the point where I'll pick them up because they're almost always like half off anyway, for one. And two, I'll pick them up because if I end up parting them out, I can, you know, part them out, or I can sell them to somebody like Alan who's building his collection and wants stuff like this. I like these too. I'm not at the point in my collecting life where I scoff at keeping these, you know, fully intact instead of parting them out like some people do. I don't mind them because it's still fan history regardless. I know that they're very common, but a lot of the ones around here are still installed and in use. So I don't actually find a lot of these in general. Although recently I found at least 5 in the last 6 or 7 months at that restore, but a lot of them were from the 2000s. Okay, high speed. Also, the pull chain is perfect. The knurl nut is not damaged or worn out in any way. It has some slight bearing noise, but not too bad. I think it's partially just from not being run very much for a few months. This spent some time in my attic, and then I got this down just a week ago when I was putting some other stuff up because I wanted to eventually test / install these, and one of them was going to Alan, so I just brought both of them down. Also, I might need the K4S for something else, so I figured I'd bring this one down too for that reason. It's decently fast on high speed. It's not the fastest Delta II I've seen either, but you know, it's still pretty good. It kind of has a slight startup whine, bleh. Not too bad, but you know, that might be signifying of a Samsung. And it's got a little bit of a wobble too. And this is actually the hang true it came with. Usually I don't use that, but this one did come complete, which is a rarity for Lake Highlands as well. Usually these things don't come with mounting at all. So it was actually kind of cool that they came with everything I needed. And a spare hang true for that matter. So there probably was a third, or maybe a different Casablanca. Not sure, but there was no other fan to be found, just a brass hang true. And this is a good recalled hang true that is only holding about half of the ball, which is how they're supposed to look. So this one doesn't need a recall clip at all. Since I pay attention to stuff like that, I determine myself based on how it looks whether or not I would need to use a recall clip on a hang true if I'm installing it, and a lot of the ones I have do not need it. I do have a couple that really are like cutting it close that I probably, if I were to long-term install something on it, I would put a recall clip, but most of the time they don't even need them. At least in my personal collection. It's not always true for a lot of other people, but to be fair, the recall was a very small number of fans out of like millions upon millions of fans that are still installed today. So, yeah. Alright, so that is the 4-blade configuration. Now for the 5. And now for the 5-blade configuration. As per usual, I'll do the typical demonstrations, starting with the light. And I'll go ahead and start off with low. This fan actually, in my opinion, looks the best in either way. I think this combination, blades, light kit, and glass and finish just really looks classy with 4 or 5 blades. So I personally would install it with either. There's no better configuration in my opinion. Really. Usually I prefer Delta IIs with 4 blades more, but I really like this with both. Although there's often I do like 5-blade fans too. I just don't like going with the crowd and doing 5 blades only because that's the majority of people like. I think that's stupid, personally. Okay, here's medium. I just like being a little different, I guess. That's why I put my San Marino with 4 blades, also because that fits the everything in my house is 4 blades theme, except for this right now. This has been like this for a few weeks now. I was going to film everything in the same day, but unfortunately I got interrupted, and then I haven't been able to film it since. And I finally had some spare time to do that today, so that's what I'm doing. It's going to be a little brief because my camera battery is on low, and I don't have the patience to wait for it to charge, so I just quick charged it a little bit. Now it's flashing again, so here's high speed. Still has a minor wobble with 5 blades as well, but no big deal. And we'll go ahead and turn it off. Pull chain is very easy to pull, as I mentioned in the 4-blade video. I think that's the easiest 3-speed Casablanca from the 80s, like pull chain wise, that I've ever owned. Because the other ones I have are a little harder. And since the battery's going to die, I'm not going to do a full spin down, so thank y'all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully there will be more videos soon. I just have to find time. That's not always easy, but